Welcome back to round number 13 of my F1 Championship Edition. I did not give myself any time whatsoever to do an intro there. Thank you so much, past Connor. We're at the Hungarian Grand Prix for round number 13. It's a track that we should be pretty good at. It's a weak track for the AI. We desperately need it after the result of the German Grand Prix, although I stand by the fact that it wasn't my fault. I know the comments are going to disagree with that, but I'm out of time, so let's just go straight into qualifying. As I said, this is a weak track for the AI, so I was feeling pretty good going into this one. It's a track that you can actually, potentially get a podium or even a win in this car if I drive well, which I won't, so I won't be getting that, but we could get points potentially, or a top 10 finish. That would see us in good light with Helmut Marko. P15 on my opening lap in qualifying. I've got one more lap to go. It's not a convincing lap whatsoever, so we'll continue to push on and hopefully improve on our last lap in Q1. Although judging by the fact I've jumped to the end of sector 1, I imagine I'm going to cut turn 4. I do cut turn 4. Is that going to be an invalidation? It really should be an invalidation. That was absolutely disgusting. Just waiting for the graphic in the top right to update. No, it wasn't an invalidation. We're half a second up through the first sector. How the hell have I got away with that one? It's okay though, because karma has found me as we come into sector 3, as everyone has decided to just get in my way. Is that a Honda I see ahead of me? Or is that a Midlands? I think that might be... Nope, that's a Midlands car, thank God. If that was a Honda, I was going to absolutely lose it. It's fair to say Sector 3, it's not been the best line through Sector 3. I've seen more efficient lines, but we're going to get through Sector 3. We're going to run wide at the final corner, and I think I've thrown away all the time I would have gained. Yep, I definitely have thrown away all the time I would have gained on that lap. That was an incredible lap up until I had any cars around me whatsoever. Given the mental torment they put me through this season, I'm not really surprised that I threw that away with so many people around me, but we have got through to Q2 in P15. No real surprises going out in Q1, we get through by 4/10 of a second over our teammate. So we saw in Sector 1 we do have the pace. Let's just hope that I fucking hate myself. Why am I so consistently shit? As I was trying to say, in Q1 we showed we had the pace, we had a brilliant lap in hand until we got to the third sector, and then what happened. I drove like an idiot. But we do have the pace to get through to Q3 if I don't do something like that. Genuinely, why did I do that? It wasn't even a lap. Have I just... I've not got enough time, and I've bottled Q2. There is absolutely no reason why that crash should have happened. That is inexcusable. I am genuinely so disappointed in myself.
You surprise me to how shit you are.
So it's a Renault 1-2 for the Hungarian Grand Prix. Alonso ahead of Fisichella, Michael Schumacher in third, and Felipe Massa down in P7. Once again, a poor result for Massa in this championship fight. And yet still that's a less embarrassing performance than what I did. Okay, so we've got some time to make up in the race, but we do have pace, as long as we don't throw it away, of course. Let's see what we can do. Come race day, 5 lights, lights out, and away we go. It's been a brilliant start. We're going to hit the back of the Sauber off the line, but we're going to get past the Red Bull, the 2.0 to the McLaren, the Williams, the Honda, the Red Bull, the Ferrari. We're straight up at the P7 as we come down towards turn number 1. Inside line for turn number 1, up the inside of Trulli and the McLaren. And the second Honda of Barrichello. Has been yellow flags behind me, not including me for once. We're up in the P4, straight off the line. I told you we had pace, and immediately we used it. We're side by side with Barrichello, which is absolutely terrifying, but we survive it. We've held on to P4 to come into Sector 2. We're right behind Michael Schumacher. I say right behind, he's pretty far ahead, and we're probably not going to catch him, but we're behind Michael Schumacher. I don't think we're going to be challenging for the podium places. We're just going to be focused on the Honda. As we come down towards the chicane, he's probably going to dive me and take me out. He's dived me and taken me out. Of course it was the Honda, but we have a brilliant spin. We've lost minimal time. We've only lost out to the Honda of Barrichello. We've held off Montoya and McLaren. There's another retirement behind me, which again I wasn't... Nope, it's not behind me, it's in front of me. We've had a car retire ahead of us. There's an engine blowout. It is one of the Renaults. Fisichella is out of this race. We're back up in the P4. Annoyingly, Barrichello is still in the podium places once again. Definitely an eventful lap 1, but we're going to end it P4 from P16 on the grid. Unfortunately though, losing out to Barrichello. I realise I said his name wrong during the heat of the battle there. Please forgive me. I'm trying. Rather quickly it became apparent that I would be playing the defending game for this race. We did not have the pace to stay with the Honda, and especially the Ferrari and the Renault up ahead. We've lost out to Barrichello. We are under pressure from the McLaren though. Although so far we've held off Montoya. I think this is the first time I've actually seen him this season.
Hello there.
There he is. So I'm gonna just, you know what, that didn't happen, ignore that. We're still P4, nothing happened. Yeah, this may be a quick track for the player, however, a lot of these corners were deadly. One, because it is auto spin curbs. Two, the AI, as we know, like to dive at certain corners, and especially through the chicane, they're idiots, really. So defending against Massa and Montoya, absolutely terrifying, genuinely horrific. I was not having a great time. Same for turn number 12. As you can see, Massa has dived me at turn number 12, hit the back of me, given me a puncher, and I'm going to get a penalty as well thanks to running off track. It's only a 1 second penalty, how generous of you. We're going to get a puncher, but luckily we're close to the pits. Our race is sort of ruined. We're going to lose a lot of time coming into the pits. We're trying not to spin with this puncher. We will be going the rest of the race on one set of tyres, which is going to bode well for me because, as we know, I'm really great when it comes to worn tyres. But unfortunately, what was looking like a pretty strong result, once again, through no fault of my own, it's going to be a recovery drive. But this time, I feel like we could get something. Into the pits we go. It's not going to be a slow stop because it is a puncher and not front wing damage. It's actually a pretty slow stop for my standards. 7.8 seconds. We're out in 17th place. We're comfortably not actually last. Webber's last. God, that sucks to be him. Anyway, out in P17, we have the pace. Let's try and make up some positions. We can still score points today. Unfortunately, that means it's going to be a rather boring end to this race, I think. And by end to this race, I mean the rest of this race. It's going to be just a series of pit stop overtakes. So, as people come into the pit, we're going to go up to P15, I think. P16? My race engineer said P16. It says P15 in the top left. P15, we're up ahead of Villeneuve. Wonderful. A lap later, more cars come into the pit, so we're going to go up the grid once again. We're going to go up to P13. We'll see if that is actually P13. Just once again, we've got this awkward pause as we wait for the graphics to update. We're right behind Nico Rosberg, which is not a good sign. P13, we're behind Rosberg. That is awful. Well, I guess we're battling the Williams for remaining 11 laps. Before we get into any fights though, there is more action in the pits. We've gone up to P12. It's only one car. There is a car ahead of me that's just come out of the pit. I think that's Heimfeld. He's just got out just ahead of Nico Rosberg, so hopefully they can battle and I can maybe steal a top 10. It does hurt that I'm now fighting for a top 10. I was really hoping for points given how this race started. The tyre wear graphic is not filling me with much hope, to be honest. It's already starting to fade into yellow. And what's also concerning is the fact that I've not really caught onto the back of the Williams at all in the past few laps. 9 laps remaining and we're still this annoying distance of about a second behind Rosberg. We've sort of closed up to him. The Sauber is pulling away ever so slightly, but we just don't have the pace, or more accurately, we don't have the tyre wear to catch onto the back of Nico Rosberg and challenge for P11. It's really frustrating because through some corners, for example turn 4, we have the pace as you can see, but especially through the middle sector and the final few corners, we just lose. Also, turn 7, we lose a lot of time through turn 7 as well. I think that's kind of cemented myself in P12 actually. With P13 maybe, we're now battling Villeneuve. This is not going to go well. Especially with the fact he's probably going to dive me at turn number 12. This could be the end for me. Oh, thank God we cut away. Okay, we're safe. 4 laps remaining, soon to be 3. Obviously we've lost out to P11 thanks to that spin. We're now battling with Villeneuve, and despite what the tyre wear says, I was actually holding on quite well. Don't look at the time in the top left, that's unimportant right now. We were defending against Villeneuve, and I know 2006 Villeneuve, that's not saying much, but the Sauber is a quicker car, and I know I said this is a player track. Ignore every reason why it's easy for me to defend against this position and just admire the fact that I am. Maybe it's just the effect this season's had on me, but holding on to P11 against a Villeneuve, I was satisfied with it. There's been so many lows this season, just holding on to P11 on pure pace. It was just P12. Okay, maybe I wasn't okay at this. I'm still thinking about P11. Even doing the commentary, I'm still thinking about P11. 2 winner sectors laps to go, and we're still ahead of Jacques Villeneuve. We're heading down towards turn number 12. I assume he's going to dive me into the braking zone. He does indeed dive me into the braking zone. He barges his way past me. Hopefully down the main straight we'll be able to get back at him, but it does mean we'll have to get traction at the final corner. With these horrific tyres, although out of the penultimate corner, we're looking racy. We're going to take a wide line, not really through choice, but we're just... What the fuck is that? You know what? We get traction on the grass. We've not really got a run on him, but are we going to send it in towards turn number 1? We kind of have to if we want to stay ahead of him. We have absolutely sent it. We've nailed the braking zone, and we're back ahead of Jacques Villeneuve. I was so certain I was going to fuck that into the back of him. We're still ahead of the Sauber. P12. Alonso started his final lap. Ignore that. The fight everyone cares about is for P11. P12. Stop. You're not getting P11, you idiot. Stop thinking about P11. God, I deserve so much more from this race. For the penultimate time, we're heading towards turn number 12. As we've learnt, this is the deciding corner of the track against the AI. Is Villeneuve going to send it once again? He does, not quite as much. He doesn't get the move on us. We're going to be side by side on the exit. Through turn number 13, we have the inside line and we're going to hold on to P12 as we come on to the final lap. As you can see, the tyres weren't in the best state. And by not the best state, I mean I was absolutely suffering by this stage. But we're going to come on to the final lap in P12, a second over Villeneuve. Is he going to dive me into the first corner? It is another worrying corner for the AI. We're going to brake nice and late, leaving plenty of room if he chooses to dive me. He doesn't try and make the move, and we're going to hold on to P12 for at least one more corner. Alonso has won the race. Well done to him. We don't care about that. What mattered was the run out of turn number 11 and the braking point of turn number 12. It's not been a great run through turn number 11. I've been doing that pretty much all race, to be fair, but we do have a gap on Villeneuve, and we're going to hold off the Sauber in the braking zone. 2 more corners to go. It should have been so much more. I'm going to blame Massa entirely for this because, barring a few mistakes which were fully expected, we've actually driven a brilliant race. We're going to come home P12, an annoying P12 at the Hungarian Grand Prix, but it's what we're given. Thank you, Massa, for ruining my race. Alonso's going to win the race ahead of Michael Schumacher, and moving on, Kimi Räikkönen finishes 26 seconds behind the lead, which means there was a healthy gap between whoever got P3 and Räikkönen for us to just sit in P4. I genuinely feel like we could have held on to P4 given our defensive drive against the Sauber, but it's no points at the Hungarian Grand Prix despite a decent drive. We come home in P12, the penultimate car not to be lapped in this race. Massa deservedly retires from the race, an absolutely disgraceful move. But on the plus side, Button retired. That's nice. That makes me feel a little better. Well, I never thought I'd say this, but I'm now rooting for Michael Schumacher. He now closes the gap to 2 points behind Felipe Massa. Massa's doing everything he can to throw away this championship, really. Alonso finally moves into P3 ahead of Montoya, who's done absolutely nothing this season. And despite 2 underwhelming races, we still hold on to P9 in the standings, 10 points ahead of Jarno Trulli. Ferrari hold a 62-point lead over McLaren, who are somehow P2. And Toro Rosso hold a 6-point lead over Toyota now, not quite as secure as in the drivers. We do need some points in the remaining few races. But while we were disappointed with our performance, once again, Marco is incredibly... I was going to say he's incredibly proud of us, but I didn't even give time to read that email. It's great to see that you recently have been showing your true potential. That seems a bit insulting given that race and the last race, but... Moving on. You're turning out to be a great asset to Scuderia Toro Rosso. Scott Speed has the greatest respect for you, and team morale is on and up. Good work, Connor. I'm pretty sure I've only ever mentioned Scott Speed a handful of times, and every single time it's been me insulting him. I don't know why he respects me. Well, a decent race, but an underwhelming one from our point of view. Next up will be the Turkish Grand Prix, a track that genuinely I have so little faith in. I think it's going to be a rough one. I genuinely believe it's going to be hell. I have no fond memories of driving Turkey on this game. I have no fond memories of driving Turkey on any game, to be honest. and given my history with tyre wear and autospin curbs, yeah, it's going to be fun. I can't wait. I really can't wait for Turkey. See you next time.